Can we start, Atanu sir? We'll start, Atanu sir. We can. Or shall we wait, sir?
Yeah, only 18 participants now join. So let us wait for another 2 minutes.
Okay, sure, sir. Sure.
I said for all CGMs, NTI लेता है.
Oh, okay.
We have, sir, few participants also joining as a group, sir. So
I think we should start now because already we are getting late.
yes. So let us maintain the respect to the time and those who have joined also. Considering it, and as per the past also, we will start on time. So thank you all. Thank you for being patient and good evening to all the seniors. Good evening, everyone. And again, another session of Antardrishti, and it brings me immense pleasure to welcome you all for this 20th edition of Antardrishti. As we all know, it is a monthly leadership interaction series, and what we try to bring is we try to bring fresh, thought-provoking perspectives on various topics to the senior leadership of SAIL. And as many of you know, that Antardrishti is a platform designed to broaden horizons. We appreciate it is a 45 minutes dialogue, but it is designed to broaden horizon, challenge the conventional thinking that we are operating with, and also to inspire new approaches in the leadership excellence. And we thank you for your continued support and enthusiastic participation. We'll start with the today's session, which is again focused on a very relevant theme, that is driving excellence in manufacturing. We have been listening in various talks from the talk leadership and also from the various other talks also, that we are looking for maximizing our productivity and production at various levels. And considering the similar theme that is entrusted upon, we have selected the theme of driving excellence in manufacturing for this edition. To take this session forward, let me invite Shri Atanu Mukherjee sir. Shri Atanu Mukherjee sir is GM in charge HR L&D at MTI for welcome address, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rajesh. And first of all, I'd like to welcome Shashank Kotwal sir, who is an expert in EFQM and business excellence and the process improvement. So, and also I'd like to welcome all the executive director and the chief general managers of Steel Authority of India Limited for attending this online session. Antardrishti, as already you know, it's an online intervention we are doing for all the CGMs and the executive directors of SAIL to think on the new insights regarding the leadership area. So this time we have selected, as Mr. Rajesh has already mentioned, this time we have selected the driving excellence in manufacturing get the ahead position in the steel sector. This is one of the basic requirement that as a organization we need to have. So excellence we need to achieve, and especially in the area of the manufacturing area. And as already you are aware that the Antardrishti, this online intervention, we are doing very religiously in the second Wednesday of every month. In fact, and we have also, there are so many new topics also we'll take those new topics before you in the coming Antardrishti sessions. For this only this particular Antardrishti session will also help you to get new insights, especially in the area of excellence. And our Kotwal Saab is an expert who is going to provide the valuable insights into how organization can enhance the efficiency, quality, and the innovation in the operation. And today's session is focusing on understanding EFQM. I'm sure that you know EFQM. EFQM is the European Foundation of Quality Management and business excellence model he is going to talk about. And also he is going to share about the best practices in the high performance manufacturing units. And also he is going to discuss on the framework for process improvement and the innovation area. So these are the three focus will be there during these 45 minutes of interaction under this Antardrishti forum. So once again, I welcome all of you in this Antardrishti session and wish you a very, very happy learning ahead. Thank you. Over to Mr. Rajesh.
Thank you, sir. Now, without taking much time, it's my privilege to introduce our distinguished speaker for this session, Mr. Shashank Kotwal. Formally, if I may introduce the sir, Mr. Kotwal is an independent business excellence consultant, currently based in Mumbai, and he's a production engineer, like engineer amongst all of us. We are engineers. So he's also an engineer from Mumbai University. He has also done his MBA from SP Jain, and he brings to the table 23 years of rich cross-functional experience across the manufacturing sector. He started with his journey from the Mukund Steel, where he worked in WRM. Then he went to work into the Crompton Greaves, into the transformer division, and then at Mahindra and Mahindra, where he held key roles in technology, strategy, operation, quality, and business planning. Since 2017, sir has been leading his own consulting practice, Shashank Kotwal and Associates, which primarily offers strategic advisory services in the area of business excellence, EFQM, analytics, and sustainability. He's also certified assessor for CIM Exim Bank Excellence Award and also CII Greenco rating system. And he also served as currently serves as an adjunct faculty for operation analytics at the Management Institute based in Mumbai. Sir, without further much ado, it's our honor to have you with us. And now I hand over the stage to you, sir, and looking forward to hear.
Thank you. Atanuji, Rajeshji, and all senior colleagues from SAIL. It's an honor to be getting an opportunity to present and share my learnings about this topic, which is very dear to me, business excellence, with you all. It also brings a feeling of nostalgia, as Rajeshji had said. I started my career with Mukund and Steel in wire rod mill. So steel से चालू किया था एंड आज स्टील वालों के सामने ही बात करने का मौका मिल रहा है तो आई एम क्वाइट हैप्पी एंड इट्स अ more of a feeling of pleasure and look forward to share my learning about this. What I would like to do is I would like to share my understanding of this topic using a slide deck. And if you, Rajesh ji has said that there would be a question and answer session later on. But if you feel there is something that important you would like to discuss, we can also discuss that. Feel free, not only now, but later also you can connect with me and we can definitely discuss this topic at length. It will be always be my pleasure to share my understanding about it. Okay. With your permission, I would like to start now. Because of this technology, I may not see your face, but Rajesh ji, help me if someone has any questions.
I will, sir.
Yeah. I'll start sharing the screen. Is this slide visible?
Yes, to me it is, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. Okay. So Welcome all, and we are going to talk about excellence and how do we drive excellence in manufacturing. Uh, what is this all about? Typically, I would like to introduce the concept of business excellence. Quite often we use the word excellence, but let us also go back to the basics. What is this excellence all about? We'll also try to understand this is not for some juniors. This is a job of top management, and why it is so. We'll try to understand in subsequent slides. We will try to understand how this excellence using a classical approach, which is called self-assessment, which is also a learning exercise for CEOs and the leadership team, how it has to be deployed, and how the framework that we are going to study in detail is the EFQM model, which is the European Foundation for Quality Management. I had made one draft and I had shared with Rajesh ji and others, and then we got a feedback that dovetail the examples from steel industry in the explaining the various facets of excellence, which I have made attempt to do so, and whatever are relevant to manufacturing domain, I have presented some example from steel industry, global company, also Indian company. And later on, I'm open to question and answers. If you want to share your thoughts, also most welcome. So let's begin. What is this excellence all about? I like one concept talked by this great man. He says, "Ki, you know, always pay as much attention to the work as to the end. In the sense, how you achieve a result is equally important than as the result itself. Many a times we always say ki, uh, only results are important. No, if they have to be sustainable, we need to focus on the processes also. And excellence is striking a balance between excellence of results and excellence of processes. So business excellence is all about good practices leading to superior business results. But superior business results only for the shareholders? No. Basically, we are talking about satisfying the expectations of all stakeholders. Mark my word, it is stakeholders and not the shareholders. For a PSU organization like SAIL, it could be not restricted only to the Ministry of Steel. It could be many things. The society where the plant is operating, the employees, the partners, suppliers, all are stakeholders. So let's understand this concept. Let's revisit. You all may be knowing, you are all veterans, but nevertheless, let's revisit. A stakeholder is a group or a person or an organization which has a direct interest in the functioning of an organization and can affect or be affected by it. So it could be customers, employees, business and governing stakeholders, society, partners, and suppliers. Stakeholders are powerful. They can make or break an organization. I was just reading about Vedanta's copper smelter plant in Tamil Nadu. From 2018, it was shut down. 40% of the India's copper consumption can be fulfilled by the plant, but that plant is shut down thanks to non-compliance to pollution norms and other things. So customers are happy, company is making profit. So P&L, top line, bottom line, everything is being met. But because of one stakeholder's influence, they are not able to run the business. So that is the power of stakeholders. And let us also understand how do we manage. Business excellence tells you how do you manage stakeholders and how do you manage their expectations. I come from an automotive background, and I thought this is an abstract drawing, and bear with me if I am talking some terms from automotive product development. But it is very nice analogy to explain how do you manage stakeholders. What it says, this concept is used from derived from Ford automotive company US, and they have a very well documented approach to reliability engineering. What they say, at a design stage, capture the customer expectations using the concept called quality function deployment, and at engineering design stage, at a design level, give wide latitude. Try to accommodate more and more of customer requirement, and then control your piece to piece variation or your own performance very with in a scientific manner, so that a customer gets robustness margins at these two levels. I believe we can same analogy we can say ki not only look at your owners, the Ministry of Steel or the shareholders, also look at society, also look at employees, also look at partners. Try to accommodate their expectations, and then bring process control by in form of standardization, improvement, learning, innovation, and so on and so forth. Excellence model like EFKM or Deming or whatever you may call it, all help you in managing stakeholder expectations. This concept looks very new to us, but actually this was there right from the end of Second World War. Basically, this concept started as TQM. Now, the moment I utter the word TQM, people will say, "Are it is all about product quality." No, when you study TQM movement and TQM philosophy of Japanese companies, you will really understand by TQM they refer to total quality, and that's why I have used the in bracket word management. It is not the product quality, it is not the process quality, it is the quality of leadership, it is the quality of management. And they decided that they will focus on product and process quality so as to reduce wastage, so as to create cost leadership, so as to create more job and bring in longevity of business or bringing a competitive advantage. What was good quality for Japan could be something very different dimension of competitive advantage for any other company. The idea of TQM is not to focus on product or process quality. It is about how do I ensure that the leadership and top management do their job in a most rational and scientific manner. And this is what business excellence is all about. Again, Mark, I would like to draw your attention to the concept. TQM is not product process quality. TQM is total quality of management, which has taken the new avatar of business excellence. So when we are talking of total quality of management or leadership, what is the role that they have to play? Well, basically, they will have to work on four areas: maintain something that is being good, keep on improving the product or process business performance. If at all they come up or stumble upon some innovation or breakthrough, bring that and induce, and be ready, keep on anticipating changes, disruption, and plan for it. And while doing so, management also has to take a cognizance of the window of opportunity. Now, if this plane, piston engine driven plane, if the window of opportunity is less, then management has to change the vehicle. Instead of a piston fired engine, maybe go for a jet plane based on the window and the magnitude of the challenge that is in front of you. Business excellence framework help you assess that what are the challenges that you are facing and what should be the nature of approach that you would like to deploy. So when we are talking of business excellence, when I say I want to deploy business excellence, the classical way of deploying, and again, I'm saying it is not asking young executives or engineers to say, go on improving company wide quality control or go on deploying product or process quality all across. No, it is very much the responsibility of leadership. And how do they deploy it? They do it by self assessment. By self assessment, what they do, the leadership team, using a framework which is called the business excellence framework, they try to study their processes, they study the results that are achieved out of it, and then compare with these processes and these results achieved, are we going in the direction of the vision or our long term thinking? So gauge the progress towards that. If there are some gaps or any improvement opportunities, we need to prioritize it. Or if there are some strength areas, we need to harness them and make them as a competitive advantage. A business excellence exercise, self assessment exercise, gives you three options, three areas. One is what are your strengths, what are your areas of improvement, and what should be taken up on a priority. That is a classical output of a self-assessment exercise, or in the way we look at, say, a CI Exim Bank Award or a Deming Award or so on and so forth. Well, there are three major business excellence framework. The oldest one is the Deming Prize, 1951. From 51, it is there in vogue. Then came the Malcolm Baldwin National Quality Award, which was introduced in 1987, and European Foundation for Quality Management in Europe, which was launched in 91. And in 92, CIA Exim Bank Award was instituted, which is nothing but the EFK model. And based on my understanding and my experience, I found the EFK model much more practical and helpful to the leadership in deploying the initiative in the organization. So what we are going to do is talk about this EFK and understand what is that we can take away from this and deploy in our manufacturing domain. So, what is this EFQ model? Basically, it's a semi-prescriptive framework. It does not tell you that you need to do this, because it is an industry agnostic framework. It could be applied for sale, it could be applied to Reliance Industries, it could be applied to State Bank of India. Industry is immaterial. But what it does is, it says that proactive organization who are excellent organization, when they are saying that we pursue excellence, what are the various factors of excellence under certain groups, they list that down. And when I'm saying semi prescriptive, it says to achieve that facet of excellence, what approach you need to do is left to you. So, for example, let's say SAIL decides to compete with, say, someone like Tata Steel on terms of delivery period. That if we would like to deliver a ton of steel within, say, 1 week, just hypothetical, I'm saying, what approach SAIL would like to deploy is at the discretion of SAIL. The model will not say that you need to follow this particular, and it also tracks the efficacy of the deployment. So it's like one day you have done better, next year you may again go down. No, that is not. There has to be a continuous trend of improvement. You benchmark those improvements and then take the learning from it. That's why I like this framework, and that's why I call it semi prescriptive. Basically, the model is organized in three areas. The model poses when, and since it is a self-learning exercise, it prompts the user to ask this question: why does my organization exist? What is the purpose that we are serving? So that is the direction that this organization has. Then the next set of questions: how do we intend to deliver on our long-term plans or our vision or our strategy? So that comes all this aspect comes under the execution. And with this purpose and this uh, execution, what are the results that we have achieved? Are they superior? Are they better? Or better than competition, better than domestic, international competition, whatever be that? And what are the learnings that we can take from this? If there is a gap, like I expected that I would be within top five steel company in 5 years, and maybe I'm at six. So what is the gap? Where are the gaps? What I need to improve upon are something which the model encourages to document and work upon. So I would, in a brief time, some maybe half an hour or so, we will understand the major aspects of this model and what these various sub criteria are, and also wherever possible, I have noted examples from steel industry for better understanding and better correlation. And if you have certain other questions, I will be more than happy to answer to the best of my ability later on, or you can stop me in between. Let's start with first area, that is the direction. Under that, there are two criteria: purpose, vision, and strategy criteria. One, we call it PVS. Now, in when you start talking of business excellence, abbreviation invariably come up because it saves your time efficiently. It makes things possible. And criteria two is about culture and leadership. Let's look at purpose, vision, and strategy. In purpose, vision, and strategy, it encourages the applicant to document what is the purpose and vision that the company is working on. Secondly, what are the ecosystem capabilities, mega trend scenarios that it is facing? Who are the key stakeholders and what are their needs? What is the strategy deployment process of the organization, and how do you manage the strategy deployment using the performance management and a governance system that you have? So these are the major areas, and I thought we will talk about ecosystem capabilities, megatrends, scenarios in detail. Other things, they are more seniors like you can definitely correlate and understand. But I would like to highlight certain things based on my experience working with PSU companies in particular. So let's understand this ecosystem. Moment I talk about ecosystem, and that has been my experience, people restrict ecosystem to only suppliers, society, or the neighboring villages, the shareholders, customers, and all. Beyond that, they say no. Beyond that, there is no ecosystem. But if you take a wider view, so what I have done is I found that this could be the ecosystem, a very extended ecosystem for sale. It could be your core production ecosystem with your factories, your manufacturing execution system, so on and so forth. Your supply chain and logistics ecosystem, your freight forward, freight, railways, wagons, ore mechanical, ore movement system, customer ecosystem, sustainability and circular economy ecosystem, innovation, digital and talent ecosystem, policy and governance ecosystem, strategic collaboration ecosystem. Moment you look at this wider definition of ecosystem, suddenly it open up doors of possibilities. When I am looking at, I think of optimizing or harnessing only my limited scope of ecosystem, my choices are restricted. But if I think in such a wider canvas, then the possibilities expand exponentially. Similarly, I'm talking of this concept of mega trends. Now, what are mega trends? Well, mega trends is something that it's a these are a transformative motion or movement that not only affects your company but your entire industry or entire country or continents at so, and it lasts for long term, so 10 to 30 years. They are global in impact, and it is cross sectoral. It is not specific to steel or so on and so forth. So, and because they are so impactful, we need to address them in our long term planning or strategy planning exercise. So, I have done some secondary research, and these are some of the mega trends that could be relevant to say. So, infrared growth, make it India and manufacturing boom that the country is witnessing, decarbonization and green steel movement thanks to ESG, circular economy, steel recycling, China's exit or China's inflow into steel industry, energy transformation, right from coal fire to nuclear power plant or clean energy, whatever. These are the lists based on only secondary research. I have made this. There could be something more, or there could be a more refined subset, but this I have listed them to just trigger thought process in your mind.
Sir, what are digital twins?
Sir, digital twin typically is digital or computer models of your plant. Let's say a digital twin of electric arc furnace could be a computer model where you can simulate, let's
Okay.
say, instead of 18% chromium means 304, can I make it 20% chromium?
Okay.
And
Okay.
what will be the impact? And without sacrificing material, I can still model it and get the result.
Okay. And sir, MES upgrades?
My MES, which is where you are referring to,
Same,
sir?
same. Sir. Digital
Yeah,
twins?
it
Yeah.
is
Okay.
MES manufacturing execution system.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. And then this is a very interesting part, which is scenario planning. This concept came very became prominent in 70s with Shell global company during the oil crisis of 1973. And the suddenly overnight the OPEC reduced the production and the oil prices went skyrocketed. And then Shell learned a lesson that we need to plan for this scenario. And scenario planning is a strategic tool to explore what are possible, because instead of relying on one forecast that next year the steel demand would be so many million tons, no, you plan what could be the likely scenarios on two dimensions, two very high impact dimensions, and describe the scenario and watch out for those signals. So, for example, scenario to create two for contrasting green steel surge versus protectionist trade world. So, the movement for green steel and versus Trump versus European Union, whatever is liberalized a market economy. Now, thanks to the recent development, I think it is going to be protectionist market for quite some time. And then until unless Trump reduces traffic tariffs, I think we will have to wait and watch. Again, this is a very right time to do scenario planning. Again, using secondary research, I have done scenario planning on two dimensions for sale. One is decarbonization pressure and high demand. India is the only country in the world right now which is talking about growth, and very good growth. So, a scenario where high demand and high decarbonization pressure, which is the I have given a title called green growth. If such situation arises, there will be a race to lead in green steel, capex for hydrogen, green hydrogen, ESG-led exports, premium pricing. If there is high decarbonization pressure and low demand, which will lead to cost crunch, lower volumes, cost pressures, so on and so forth. Low decarbonization pressure and high demand, steel boom. You know, the way Trump says, drill, baby, drill. In the sense, go on just doing steel production as it is. And then low demand and low carbonization pressure, survival mode. Now, this is not only relevant to marketing, even operations people or manufacturing people can think of it. That let's say two dimensions could be demand for, aluminum versus steel. The only competitor to steel in as far as consumer goods is aluminum. So more and more aluminum, lightweight cars and all. What can we do? And versus that there could be some other damage. Even operations people can do this scenario planning and plan your actions, watch out for signals, and so forth. The business excellence framework says need not wait for a transformation or disruption to occur. You can plan, anticipate, and plan your actions accordingly. Let's come to this criteria two: culture and leadership. Under that, we are talking of four areas: organization, culture, core values. Everyone understands this. Proactively prepare for change, creativity and innovation, and align with PVS. PVS stands for purpose, vision, and strategy. Now, these 2.1 and 2.4, it's more understandable, it's more about the leadership behavior. But I thought what I would like to highlight is how companies are working towards preparing the organization for change and how they are fostering creativity and innovation. So, what are steel companies doing for preparing their workforce? These are some areas, and very good example. Again, all these examples are based on secondary research. It's available in public domain. I have taken example from Tata Steel's workforce transformation. They have these initiatives: Tata Steel Learning and Development Ecosystem, 60,000 employee digital equipped from 2020. Green skill focus, preparing their employees for ESG and sustainability. Digital talent, preparing them for AI, machine learning, and so on and so forth. Leadership focus, preparing leaders for tomorrow. Inclusive and culture and diverse, so bringing in more women workers or officers, and people from local communities, so on and so forth. Let's take example of fostering innovation in steel industry. So one is preparing the employees and fostering innovation. These are some of the examples from ArcelorMittal. They tie up. They have a digital lab and open innovation centers in Europe and other countries. This is SSAB is a Swedish steel company, and they call one where they have branded this as a green steel, fossil free steel breakthrough. So they call it green steel using the hybrid technology, and they have cross disciplinary R&D center. Again, other example, POSCO, South Korea. They have made a smart factory solution within the ecosystem, and they're trying to develop various projects around it. Innovation center in Korea for AI and industrial internet of things, robotics, so on. Tata Steel has their incubator and technology and innovation management group. So these are examples. And mind you, when you do this exercise of self-assessment, you also learn from examples of others. So it could be from your industry or it could be from unrelated industry. Any questions?
So what is an incubator?
Incubator is basically, the way we say that a premature baby is born, it is
Okay.
kept in a oxygen incubator. Now,
Okay.
if an innovative idea is there and if it is subjected to harsh business prudence, like अरे धंधा कितना रहेगा, profit कितना रहेगा, immediately it gets killed. Whereas innovative ideas needs to be nurtured. Don't worry about profit for 5 years, but worry on developing customer solutions and so forth. So incubator is a protective environment for new ideas to propagate, take up germ of idea to fructification. Similarly, deep dive is Tata Steel's culture of innovation, structured innovation program, 1,000+ employee ideas are generated and they have a R&D and D and startup collaboration with academia and other startups and innovation practice. So now they have developed a graphene-based coating for steel rebars and structural steels, and they have launched a digital nerve center for real-time innovation deployment in operation. Now, if that is the case, so what we are trying to say, a leadership at setting direction, the leadership also has to play a role in promoting creativity, promoting innovation, and playing, giving the feeling of that even if you fail, we are there to protect you. I'm not saying malicious intent, but genuinely some experiments fail. There is a no blame game environment that can be encouraged by the leadership. All such things are there. Now, if that is direction, let's the model then ask you to how are you managing your stakeholders? And in stakeholders, we are talking about customers. For customers, we need to build customer relationship. Very obvious. I'm not going to spend time over here. People, everyone knows that people have to be selected, retained, and nurtured so that they remain engaged with the employees. But this part, I want to drive home a point. Many a times when I have interacted with public sector organization, and basically when we are working with governing stakeholders, so a Ministry of Steel or Ministry of the government respective institutions, whatever they say we follow, we comply, and that is the way we manage their expectation. The idea is it cannot be a one-way traffic. You need to also get benefited from their inputs, their wisdom, or you need to engage with them so that you can deploy your long-term plans on a much wider scale. I'm taking example of again ArcelorMittal. They have engaged with government for green transition. So in Europe, they have engaged with Spain, Canada. So it's not that you comply with factory licenses, pollution control board license, and that is the end of it. No, apart from compliance, you also work with the government. What can we do to develop capabilities and bring entry barriers for other companies outside so that we also build sustainability and so on and so forth. Multi-stakeholder decals, they are actively participating in first mover coalition, mission possible partner, again responsible sustainability initiative, and they are developing various global reporting and certification standards for green steel. So there is a lot of definition or debate on what is a green steel. So this company is taking initiative and setting up product. So it's a positive. I'm not saying manipulation. It is a constructive engagement with the stakeholders, governing stakeholders, to help the industry to raise the standards of the society and help the company business in the long run. Then society, you again being a PSU, you definitely are doing a great work. I have seen all across in all the companies, this part is taken well care of. But let me come to the fifth partner, the stakeholder group, partners and suppliers. Again, I have observed that we say कि हम customer suppliers को payment time पे करते हैं. That is the end of it. And we are managing suppliers expectation, but you can leverage the capabilities of suppliers and do 1 plus 1 11 synergy possible. In automotive industry where I come from, we harness the capabilities of suppliers to a very high degree and save on capex and ensure that the fruits of the efforts are shared mutually between suppliers and the OEM. I from secondary research, I found this example of POSCO. POSCO has a value chain with partnership. It's a win-win supplier partnership program where technical assistance and process innovation guidance is given to small and mid-sized suppliers, and it helps to improve the supplier capabilities and improves POSCO's product reliability. Then for managing byproduct and waste utilization, again good practices are shared, product experiments are done, and the learning is captured or shared with POSCO and supplier. Smart manufacturing ecosystem, again they have this smart factory innovation center where vendors are also given access, and together they benefit in the long run. The point is, it is not only meeting their expectation, we as the leadership or the company should also get benefited out of it. And the business excellence framework, it is not only meeting, it is also how do I engage with them and grow for a, because our success is the partner's success and vice versa. Let's come to the criteria for creating sustainable value, which is all about identifying why the customer buys the product, how do I create the product and deliver it to them, and how do I sell the product, and what is the service support that I provide. So, first is value definition. In the sense, why does my customer buy my product and how do I differentiate compared to competitors, one so forth. Again, this part I thought it would be of interest to you. Co-creation. This happens in capital goods and consumer goods quite often. I thought I will give an example of co-creation from Tata Steel. So, as I had said, that the auto industry is witnessing pressure from aluminum and steel. Steel conventionally was considered heavyweight, and aluminum by because it is 60% by density of steel, they were saying that it is lightweight. So there was pressure whether to go for aluminum or steel. So Tata Steel worked with auto OEMs, Maruti, Tata Motors, and all, and they developed this specific to auto grade. These two grades were DP600 and for body panels and Chrysler, and they engage in new product development projects of these two OEMs. The prototype testing and standards were evolved jointly, and as a result, they have conducted those to develop those two grades, and the volumes is coming to Tata Steel for long-term sustainability. Similarly, this learning has also helped them to develop low carbon steel for electric vehicle platforms, which are the new norms that are coming up. Criteria 4.2, communicate and sell value. We are aware of this. But in design and deliver value, I am referring to what are our approaches for new product development and new process development. And here I would like to introduce, though you may be aware of it, but just briefly touch upon the concept of lean. You see this image? Can you make out what is this?
Water
Any
level.
Watermelon. What is the shape of the watermelon?
You.
Cube. See, and I think this picture symbolizes lean thinking in perfectly. So Japanese, to reduce waste, the wastage, if it is a round watermelon, the storage space occupied is much more. So what they did to aid in transportation and storage, they made molds and where the watermelon seeds were allowed to grow and take the shape of a cuboid, and that is very much the analogy or thinking of lean philosophy, that wherever possible, economic waste or material waste should be reduced and efficiently should be pursued. Lean was known to Japan or Japanese companies, particularly Toyota, developed this concept from 50s onward. But the Western world was introduced to Lean in 91 through this book called The Machine That Changed the World. I will urge the Management Training Institute about having these two books in your library. Very beautiful and eye-opening books. And this impacted manufacturing operations. But then the same authors also came up with lean thinking, and now lean has become an improvement philosophy across industry, service, or manufacturing otherwise. The essence of lean came from Toyota production system. Taiichi Ono, who is considered the father of Toyota product development system, got inspired from a Piggly Wiggly retail store, retail departmental store. And that's why I say the germ of an idea can come from a very unrelated industry. He deployed it in an automotive environment, but he got the idea from a departmental store. And he made it in terms of just-in-time production, mixed model balancing. All these features of lean are well documented. The books are available about it. But apart from lean process development or lean Toyota production system, there is another development which is called lean product development. And again, very interesting topic. People who are involved in new grade development or new experimentation could benefit by reading this book, and it will open up new ideas to trigger new thoughts. So lean is all about reducing the seven waste in production, which is called MUDA, overproduction, overcorrection, so on and so forth. And Alan Ward, who was the father of Toyota product development system, he says in product development also there are these wastage, communication barriers, poor tools, useless information, so on and so forth. And as a result of this, he created this lean development system. It is still a new concept in deployment. Very few companies I have come across who have thought of implementing some of these concepts. And but it is very powerful. Particularly this set-based innovation is something that you can take a leaf out of in your R&D and innovation efforts. Well, coming to from value creation, value delivery. Now let's talk about implementing the overall experience for the customer. And here we are talking about one thing which I found very important is seamless progression. Today, when we buy a new product, we already have made our decision. I went to buy a car. I directly went to Maruti showroom and I said I want a Baleno because I had done my secondary research well in advance. Taking into fact this aspect, there is a new concept called omni-channel strategy. And here, what we do is we understand that the customer is free to capture information about the company and its product from various mediums, digital, physical, talking to people, and so forth. So wherever he or she goes for getting insights or feedback, he or she should get a consistent experience about the product and its offering. So, for example, and you will say, "Okay, this is only for consumer goods." No, Jindal Steel, Tata Steel, Ashiana Pro, these are the two initiatives where a customer can go to a particular platform, order digitally, and the ground delivery happens in a physical format. Similarly, this is for omnichannel retail experience of home builders and architects, where they can actually plan their steel requirement and they then place the order. Now let's come to the fifth criteria, that is driving performance and transformation. It's driving performance. This we all know. We all go through our appraisals and risk management. Nothing great. Transformation for future. We have talked about it. But let's come to innovation and technology. Innovation, particularly, there is a misnomer that innovation is a function of only R&D. Anyone can innovate. Even a house sweeper can say that if the company does this one or two things, it could help the company in the long run. So Godrej has a very good concept that lowest of the lowest employee can give idea about innovation. So harnessing innovation, digitalization, and technology is something that this framework asks you to explore and use them in your long-term plans. When we are talking of digital transformation, see earlier we were talking about digitization. So maybe demonetization. We started by ATM. That was digitization. Then we started working on NEFT and UPI and other things. That's what. But now Mudra, Mudra loan or digital contracts or blockchain money transfer contracts are transformation. So, as the idea is, you start by converting physical to digital, then expect to go to the next level, because if not you, the competitor is already doing that. This is particularly happening in financial services, but mind you, even in steel, there is a lot of efforts that are happening in digital transformation. Go to this website called World Economic Forum. They have a page on digital transformation, and they have grouped them ideas or the initiatives of digital transformation industry wide. So under metals and mining industry, I came across where companies are using digital transformation in terms of analytics or digitalization. These are some of the areas: demand forecasting, predictive analytics, maintenance using IoT and machine learning, energy management system, AI-driven quality control, so on and so forth. Carbon capture and secure. This is the new upcoming area. And then apart from digitalization, technology, innovation, there is this concept of circular economy. See, earlier it was good that as long as we have coal, we'll go on doing coal-fired blast furnace route of steel making and all. But there is a new movement in particular in Europe that natural resources are not infinite. There is a finite end to it. So can we do three things: preserve and enhance natural capital, optimize resource use, optimize whatever we are saying. Let's say if 10 tons of ore we use 1 ton of steel, can I make 1 to 1.5? That is the focus. Foster system is effectiveness. Can I recycle my steel? Can I go more to DRI or HBI iron and so on and so forth? And this initiative is called circular economy. There are various detailed practices of a design for circular economy, service for circular, additive manufacturing, you name it, and companies are working on it. And uh, the approach is well described by this Ellen MacArthur Foundation. This butterfly diagram is a good. I will not go into details right now for want of time, but you can refer this and go more detail by referring using the slides that I will be sharing. And fourth criteria, sub criteria is data driven insights and knowledge. Again, all these things are no, we have extensive data, but are we harnessing data? And analytics is all about that. Analytics is, I call it, Triveni Sangam of data management, statistics, operations research, and over and above that, sound business knowledge. You can have a highly qualified statistician, and that person will not be able to deliver anything until unless you substantiate with business understanding. So you study a problem using data management, statistics, OR, and business understanding, develop insights, and make changes in the business and process or reserve products so as to give superior results. So execution is the key. That is the key of analytics. And AI, becomes more prominent now, because whatever here we are talking about leaving the job of making getting this insight to experts. Now these experts are replaced by computers or the AI part, where we make them train them by studying the model and learn from the results achieved and go on improving. And thanks to chat gpt, generative AI, genetic AI, and god knows what is going to come. But mind you, what is going to happen that अरे AI वो IT वालों का काम है? No, AI can be anyone's game. In fact, this entire presentation, the examples of AI, all steel industry, I was able to generate by asking ChatGPT to find out examples under particular head. There is a method called prompt engineering to help you identify the finding. So whether you like it or not, AI is going to be there, and mind you, it's not a threat. If you are good in steel making, AI will help you make your job better, effective, and efficient. Then comes the fifth criteria, sub criteria, that sustainability in asset management. Here, we everyone is talking about
Sir, I
green.
will just
Sure.
interrupt with a short reminder of time. Since it's a full screen of yours, just,
Okay, okay. Just few slides
sure,
more, and
sure,
then
sir.
yeah. Now, when we are talking of green initiatives, how do I decide that my factory is green or my facility is green? Now, this one again, when you go and document your process and share it with other industry peers, you get ideas. So, for example, CIA has a green core rating system which helps you assess how green is your factory, whether you are moving in the direction of carbon neutral, water positive, and zero waste. And then there are sub criteria for them, go on doing it. But even if you do not apply formally, you can take a leaf out of all this and start deploying it in your respective functional area. And the results are stakeholder perception. So whatever you have done for your stakeholders, what are their perception of the work that you have done, and so customers, employees, and so forth. And strategic and operational performance. So under strategic and operational performance, we need to track process indicators for stakeholder perception, economic and financial results, performance and transformation, sustainability, and what are my future projections? How do I see sale appearing for stakeholders, for employees, for shareholders 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? What are the measures that I am working today to see that I go to the position I desire? These are the things. Now, when we are this model helps you in classical approach, but you can take a leaf of this model selectively, and companies and businesses have used EFQM framework to different applications. So they have used it to design their transformation program, develop organizational capability, build new business, prepare for market disruption. They have used for benchmarking with competitors across company industry and across geography. Corporate actions. How do I manage risks and how do I build resilience? How do I select suppliers and how do I create sustainability plan? So the idea is this business excellence framework is a very highly involved tool approach available to the leadership, and moment you start applying it, I would say that, let's say, write a vision for your plant, and when you put your pen on a paper, there itself your disturbance start. Arey, what should I write? What is the my current state of affair? What can I do? Can I build a linear regression for it? All those things. The idea is you start thinking in that direction, start documenting, and that triggers thought, and thoughts triggers action. Action goes for leads to most of the time improvement. This is what I wanted to share about this entire concept. I have given a brief overview, and I have substantiated with relevant examples from steel industry. But I'm sure you would have many questions, and I would be happy to answer that and discuss things in more detail. I'll stop sharing and would like to interact with you now.
Thank you, sir. We understand that it's a very vast topic, but you have covered it incredibly, such rich topic also in a very beautiful way, sir. We are now open to question and answers,
Sure.
and we also welcome Sanjay Dar, sir, CGM HR L&D, charge of EDHR. Sir, we are
Sanjay
now
ji,
open
good
to
evening.
Good evening, sir. Sorry,
Good
I could
evening.
join in the beginning because I had
Yeah.
to see off my director.
No, it's okay.
So we are now open to question and answers,
Yeah.
and participants can directly seek opinion of sir or can post in the chat box.
Yeah, I will.
Saurabh ji, I understand. You need a 3 hour session. That point is taken. Maybe we need to do something more on that.
Yes, sir. It is indeed a vast topic, and more detailed discussion will obviously certainly help. But the idea was certainly to give a nudge or a
Yeah. See, the idea was,
introduction to this
we
topic.
are,
Yes.
what happens moment you talk about business excellence, अरे वो document कौन करेगा, वो report वगैरह लिखने को मत बोलो. The idea is not to write a report or formally challenge the CI Exim Bank Award or the Deming Prize. The idea is study the model and reflect that onto your operation, and is there something that I can do at my functional level or at in my capacity, individual capacity level, so that if the company decide at a larger scale that we will go for the CI Exim Bank Award, I would be more prepared for it. And even whether you apply it for it or not, but you can use that learning, it is very handy, it is very powerful.
Yes, sir. As you also mentioned, sir, in your session also, that the excellence begins with the stakeholders, not just the shareholders. So that is also,
Yeah.
that is woven in the essence of EFK model of self-assessment and also about the business excellence. So, yeah, any questions are there? You can ask directly about the relevance and how you can implement if in the respective department or any particular use case if you want to know, because sir has shown lot many use cases from the various other companies.
I think it's sinking in.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So since it was a vast topic, sir, we appreciate that, and you have given a lot of frameworks and lot of areas to discuss upon. Sir, we will share the questions once we get it, sir, down the
Sure.
line also, and we'll request since you have shared your credentials also, sir, we
Yeah.
will also share with you, sir. And now I request Sanjay sir also, because framework is there. You have given a very good model of also, but to summarize those and also how to internalize this particular topic for us in the steel industry you have given, but for the sale, how we can internalize this is also very important. Sir, if you can show some light onto that, Sanjay sir.
Thank you, Rajesh. And at the outset, I'd like to thank Kotwal Saab for taking this session and taking the pains of customizing this interaction specifically to us. And I appreciate what Saurabh Sinha has said. This is not a 1 hour topic, but we wanted you to get a taste of what a well-conceived integrated performance framework can do for us. So we just wanted to give you an idea of how we can go about it, but the specifics and more details of it obviously will require much more detailed discussion. Idea was not that, okay, that you will get to understand, but you get an overview of the whole process. And I'd like to clarify, why it's relevant to us even now at this point of time. You realize we are going in for major transformational change in our organization. We are going in for a major digital transformation journey. We are going for a major HR transformation journey. We are already halfway through a safety transformation journey. We are going in for a major modernization expansion and augmentation plan. We have a dramatically, challenging HR plan going forward, where we're talking about, doubling capacity and halving the manpower. So that's essentially productivity of 4 times. So all these things, and we are in the Trumpian era right now. So the market is, what will happen in the market is anybody's guess. You don't know. I mean, he has given a new definition to what we used to call VUCA world and Bani world. Now,
VUCA is also soft now.
so now, so and within this context, and the kind of roles that you have, our CGMs and EDs have, they are practically accountable for everything, a whole range of things. So losing that sense of control or losing that common thread that ties up all our myriad activities is a big possibility. And getting overwhelmed is a big possibility. So why this kind of frameworks are important for us is because it provides us with an integrating perspective, which helps us understand how actions on one front affects outcomes on some other front, and how by addressing things in an integrated manner, we can actually leverage all our efforts and have much more coherence in our strategies. And it's also important for our EDs and CGMs because we are the thinking organization. Let's accept it. The doing organization is below us. We are the thinking organization, and for us, we need a frame for thinking. Otherwise, our attention gets distracted. And this model provides us a very good framework for understanding how well we are doing and why some things don't seem to be working despite the fact that we are doing well on some certain aspects. Because you realize it takes an entire system to make things work. So that's very important for all of us. We need to appreciate that aspect. And I'd once again like to thank all the faculty for taking the pains of giving us a proof of concept by citing example of each of those principles from a steel and related concept. So you will also understand why it is important for us to see other organizations, visit other organizations, benchmark ourselves, and pick up best practices from others. And this provides us a framework of figuring out what to look for, what to find, and how to transfer knowledge from one context to another. Incidentally, we are going to have a workshop on operational excellence and benchmarking for our works people, and around 100 people are going to join us on 11th and 12th. They would be doing similar kind of exercises within the domain of, say, operations. So we have to start expanding our horizons and frames of reference in thinking, and that will provide us the frame of reference for executing. So I hope you have picked up some pointers. The presentations will be available. The reading material, the video of this interaction will be available, and we'll also try to supplement with some more content. But what's important is, I hope we have been able to trigger a new thinking process, because that is what the whole concept of Antardrishti is. We are trying to trigger new thoughts, making you reflect on what do I need to do differently? How do I need to think differently? I'm grateful to all the participants who have taken their time. We understand this is a hectic week and a lot of things are happening. But despite that, people have taken the pains to connect and share their perspective and listen to some very delightful and useful content from our faculty. So thank you all. And once again, thanks to Kotwal Saab for helping us understand performance from a very different perspective, and helping us to understand sustainability from a very different perspective.
Definitely.
So wish you all the best. Thank you, Rajesh. I think we can close it here.
Thank you, sir. And
Thank you, Kotwal sir.
thank you.
Thank you.
As you rightly said, it's a very apt topic and a very thought-provoking one. And thank you, Sanjay sir, for taking us to the journey of Operation Excellence and also helping us to reflect how we can align the various people, process, or for the long-term value creation for our company. Thank you, sir. And thank you all the participants.
At the end, I would like to thank SAIL, MTI, Management Training Institute, Sanjay ji, Antanu ji, Rajesh ji, and all the members who are present here to give me for giving me this opportunity. And one last one sincere request to you: just remove this concept that this is about quality. Very unfortunately, every time, most of the time, people from quality assurance go as a business excellence assessor, and if you give them entry into a factory, they go to tell me your customer complaints and blah 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 blah. Whereas this is not about product quality or process quality. It is about how, what is the, what in what way I will develop competitive advantage for my company. And it is not some jadoo ki goli given by some consultant. You develop it. So the focus is on documenting. Tell me how. If someone says do scenario planning, बताओ कैसे करना है, and it encourages you to document it. That's the documentation helps you. So more, this function is more of a, it's a fluid in nature, and it is interdisciplinary.
Yes.
It ideally should be people come together from different background. Ideally this should be led by a finance head, because that person knows where the company is losing money and where it is
In
gaining.
tangible terms, it will be.
And then let it go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir,
Thank
for
you.
giving us,
Thank you.
as Atanu sir also mentioned, thank you for giving us a trigger. And thank you, sir. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure.